Introduction. In this video, we will be introducing the Practical Investigation Unit and looking at how to get started. The first and most important step is to read through the brief very carefully. A good way to do this is to print out a copy and then highlight key words. You can use a colour code to highlight aspects such as green for keywords or topics where you feel very confident, red for those that you need to research, and amber for those where you have learned them but feel that you need to revise or review your understanding. You'll have 20 hours to complete the whole unit coursework assessment, so don't rush into starting the practical work. Begin by identifying what research you need to carry out. Getting started. If you wanted to bake a cake, you'd need to find a recipe and then assemble the ingredients. Starting the practical investigation is rather like this. You can use the internet, books, and even people as sources of information. Let's look at each of these in turn. The internet. This is a very convenient source. You can find out anything and everything. However, a wise student would check the accuracy of the information that they find. You cannot tell what a cake will taste like until you've made it, so you will need to check that the ingredients are confirmed by looking at a few different reliable sites, and maybe some books too. You will also need to keep track of the sources that you have used in case you need to revisit them, but don't forget that the contents of web pages can change. Books and magazines. These can be very good sources of information, but make sure that they are up to date and relevant to the tasks. People. Have a think about the tasks. Do you know anybody who is an expert? Going back to our cake analogy, do you know a chef? They would be able to give you the benefit of their experience, which could be very useful. You could have a chat with them and make notes while they are talking. It is a good idea to write down the questions that you want to ask beforehand. You could also make an audio recording of your conversation using a mobile phone, but you should tell them that you are doing this first. Sometimes it is hard to find an expert, but it's always good to get a second opinion. Bibliography. Keeping track of your information sources is very important. I would advise doing this by copying the URL into a word processed document, which should automatically create a hyperlink back to the original web page. Next to each hyperlink, you should also note the author, if you know who this is, the title of the page, the date that you accessed it. The whole entry should look like this. This document forms your bibliography. Laying out the sources like this is called Harvard referencing. This is the same system used by universities and colleges, so it is a good idea to learn how to do this while still completing your GCSE course. For books, you should include the publisher too. You should also list any people that you used as information sources too. You can include them in the list by giving their name, date, and title for the interview. You might need to think about the most appropriate one. The advantage of creating a bibliography as you carry out the research is that you can always refer back to your sources at any time during your investigation. Working in a group. At this stage, it is fine to carry out the research required in a small group. In fact, this can be helpful because you could split up what you need to find out and each complete a small chunk. You can then discuss what you found out all together. Remember, 2 heads might be better than 1. Make lots of notes at this stage and discuss your ideas. Your teacher will also be able to give you general guidance too to help you understand how to approach the tasks, but it is important that you show that you can work independently and under your own initiative. Plagiarism. This is a very important word and you need to understand what it means. Plagiarism is cheating by copying. As you gather information about the tasks, make some notes about what you have found out and record your progress in your own words. You also have a bibliography that you would have built through your investigation. These, together with your response to the tasks, are all your own work. Even if you carried out some of the initial investigation in a group, producing your final report must be in your own words. You must not copy directly from a web page or book. Short extracts can be quoted providing it is made clear that it is a quotation and the source acknowledged. Copying from a web page, a book or someone else's work without acknowledgement is like stealing and a big no-no. Pictures may be subject to copyright. Always ask your teacher if you need clarification on the tasks and be proud of the work that you produce. Using your time. You will have 20 hours to carry out the practical investigation. Plan out how you will use your time. Your teacher will probably have given you advice on this. It would be useful to produce a time plan and stick to it. So here's a suggestion for how to divide up your time. Preparation, 2 hours. Research, 6 hours. Producing final piece of work, 12 hours. Good luck!